choose the beat for Kelly Olynyk. It's like a very soulful beat. You know, did you produce it yourself? Because I saw that you do be making beats. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I did produce Kelly Olynyk. That's just kind of like the style I've been going towards probably like the last year. I've been real tapped in with like the upstate sound, like Griselda and like Nicholas Craven and those type of dudes. So that's kind of like flowed into my music. Um, as far as producing, I kind of just I don't do anything by the book. Like I'm kind of all over the place. So I just found a sample. Um, I did like one chop, just added a loop. Like it took me 10 minutes, but like I knew that I didn't need nothing else once I did it. So that's all it really was.
I saw you posted on your social media like you don't do shit at industry quality
Yeah,
standards. Like
facts.
you don't need that. That's not for you. Like
Exactly.
you're going for this very raw, unique style.
Hmm.
You know, you think you get that? Like not trying to perfect. Do you perfect it or you just like until it's good to you?
Um, well, until it's good for me, it's perfect in my eyes. It's like beauty's in the eyes of the beholder. So it's gonna be different for everybody, but I know that when I do it, it's like, all right, this is where it needs to be right now. And of course, like I'll get a tip from my engineer. He'll be like, you should do this, you should do this. He might add something, he might take something out. But other than that, like once I really feel like it's done, it's not many changes that goes into it afterwards. Yeah.
So what are the tools you use for like chopping,
Um,
looping and stuff? Just using MIDI or
yeah, just the MIDI. I've to this day I've never used Serato sampler, even though I want to, but I just never. What works for me has been working for me up to this point. Not to say I can't get better at it, but it's I don't want to kind of steer away from what my sound is. I don't want to get too experimental from where I lose that core, sound that made me who I am today. So yeah.
so when you're looking for like different sounds, what do you like? What are you looking for? You know what I mean?
A lot of soulful music, like old, like 80s, 70s samples. I try to stay away from like popular songs, though. I feel like that's the thing now. Like, once you hear a sample, it's kind of like a cheat code. Like, oh, I know that song. I grew up to that song. But I try to find something to where like
Nobody's
you,
heard it.
yeah, exactly. Nobody knows where this comes from. You don't know the artist. You don't know the song. That's kind of what I aim for. Yeah.
So can you walk me through your creative process a little bit, like through your beat conceptualization to how you come up with the lyrics for that beat that you just made,
Hmm.
and like how do you put it together?
So usually, I'm the type of person that if I'm making a beat within, let's say within 25 minutes, if the beat not done within 25 minutes, half an hour, I'm scrapping the beat. It's not
Really?
it. Yeah. And I'm not the type of person that's like, I can't make the beat and go back later and write the lyrics to it. I gotta write the lyrics to it at that exact moment, unless I'm not gonna make a song out of it. As far as the lyrics for the song, it's just whatever I'm going through at life in that moment. Sometimes I just feel like, you know, I'm the best. Let me just pop my shit for a few minutes.
Mm.
Sometimes I feel like I'm stressed out. I'm going through X, Y, Z. Like whatever I'm feeling in the moment is what's gonna make its way into the music.
Mm.
Yeah.
How do you want your audience to connect with your music?
Um, I feel like they connect with it just because I feel like the words I'm saying is realistic. I'm not saying I got $20 million. You know what I'm saying? It's like I feel like I'm talking about everyday topics that people could relate to. Like my album I put out a few years ago was called "Be Careful Who You Call Your Friends." Like literally everybody could relate to that title. Like everybody's had somebody they thought was, day one or something like that, and then found out, oh, you wasn't really there for me. So I just feel like I'm a relatable guy because I'm still at that point in my career where I'm not jaded. Like I still know, you know, I can still see through a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not to the point where regular day, everyday shit don't affect me yet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Speaking about that and like the album, be careful who you call your friends. You posted right before you dropped it that you were sitting on a lot of the music due to the internal fear that you were having, and like getting over the fears and just putting them in the back.
Yeah.
How do you do that, and how does that allow you to express your creativity when you're able to just put the fears in the back?
How do I do it is you miss every shot you don't take. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm listening to it, I'm sending it to my friends and shit, and they're like, yo, this is fire, this is hard. And I'm like, you know, if I don't take a chance, then your percentage is zero if you don't take the chance. So I'd rather put it out there and at least have a small chance at, it becoming successful. What was the second part of the question? I'm sorry.
I'm how you use it to express your creativity?
To express my creativity,
How do you just push it to the back of your mind and just use that to help express your creativity?
to be honest, when I'm making music, I'm not really trying to prove to anybody how creative I am or how dope I am, because I already feel like I am, to be honest. Like, I'm my own toughest critic. Nobody could tell me anything about my music that I haven't told myself before. It's time stuff comes out and I'm like, I could have did that line over. Like I ran out of breath towards the end. I should have punched in right there, or I should have said this right here instead of this. Like, I should have dropped the beat out at this part. So I'm not trying to prove to anybody that I'm ill, because like I already know that I'm ill. I'm kind of just let people see things from my point of view, my perspective. Yeah.
So like, how'd you get started in music, man? For people who don't know, like, what's
Damn,
your story?
man.
How'd you get into it?
Shit. I've been a fan of music like my whole life, and everybody's fans of music. But I feel like everybody comes to that point when I'm like, I could do that. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I started off on FL Studio. I was young. I was probably like 12, 13 years old. I wasn't consistent with it. I was making like a beat a month and shit like that, because to get nice at anything, you got to stay consistent. You got to keep doing it. So making a beat a month, and I'm like, yo, why my shit don't sound like my favorite rapper at the time, shit. And but then I would say around 17, 18, I started working with Logic, and that's when I really started to tap into like watching tutorials. I was on it every day until like I was like, I need to get it to the quality of the shit that I'm hearing outside of my house. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I really became nice with it. And as far as being a fan of music, I just come from a music household. Like my parents listened from everything to shit, Aretha Franklin, and then the next song could be Black Rob, and then the next song could be, Coldplay, and the next song could be fucking Bob Marley. Like, it's all over the place. So I've just always been a fan of music just from growing up. It's always been in my life.
So like, when you started your musical journey, were you starting out as a producer in mind, or were you always like, yo, I'm gonna make my own beats and then I'm gonna rap on it?
So I started making beats. No intention to rap at first, but when I was trying to pitch my beats to people and sell beats to people, I really wasn't getting the feedback that I was looking for. So I was like, well, if I can't sell the beats, like I'm gonna just rap on the beats myself. And that's really like how I fell in love with actually rapping. I was like, I don't really need nobody to hop on my beats, because the people I was trying to sell it to, now I feel like I'm better than them. So I'll just rap on my own shit at this point, you feel me? Yeah.
That's pretty fucking dope. I know, that's pretty fucking dope, man. So I've seen like, you've done a lot of traveling. Like I saw you went to LA,
Yes.
maybe a couple years back. So how is it like being able to travel as an artist? Your music has gotten out there. You can go to different places. Like
Yeah.
LA and do a show.
Yeah, LA was a dope experience. It was scary. So, yo, that whole like 3-day period was crazy. So I was only in LA for 24 hours, literally. So I didn't even get a chance to explore the city or anything like that. So I got booked for the showcase, but they didn't tell me until maybe 5 days before I had to be there. So I'm over here at that point, like I was popped. Like I'm like, yo, I gotta scrape money together from everywhere trying to get this plane ticket. I got to LA. I remember when I got there, they changed the venue. So I'm like, yo, I purposely got my hotel close to the venue so I don't got to spend bread on Uber. Like, I'm telling you, when I was in LA, I probably had less than $100 in my account. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it back home tomorrow, you feel me? But I was like, fuck it. I'm trying to network. I'm trying to get my music heard out here. So to me, it was like no risk, no reward, And literally, I remember maybe like 2 days before that was my grandfather's funeral. So it was just a lot of emotions that whole weekend. But till this day, I've met people that night that I still network with today. Like one of my mans that I met there, he did the marketing for one of my singles that came out early this year. You know, that's, if I never went, I never would have met him, you know. Jay Picasso, he's from Queens. He lived 5 minutes away from me. I didn't meet him until we was both in LA for the same showcase, you know. So it was like a full circle moment. So yeah, it was dope. Yeah.
Like, do you have any other performances that are memorable? What's your best performance that sticks out into you?
Shit, I would say LA. Yeah, because it was kind of like a contest platform, I guess you could say, like a contest layout. And I remember I might have been, it's crazy, I just looked at the flyer again yesterday. So I think I performed fourth. And I think it was 6 people performing. And I remember seeing everybody else perform. I was like, damn, if they doing, you know, first, second, third, I don't think that I will come in any of those places, because she bodied it, he bodied it, yada, yada, yada. So then when they said the third place winner, I was like, all right, I know I didn't win shit, because she should have been number one in my eyes. Then they said me for second. I was like shocked, you feel me? It was like, oh shit, like I won second place. You know, it was a good feeling knowing that I really risked everything to come out here right now, you know what I'm saying? Was after that, my next showcase was in New York. That one, I ain't like as much. I ain't gonna hold you, but it's a part of the growing process. It's like I can't be mad if the LA show went great, first show out, and my second show, like I felt like it was ass, but I couldn't really be mad because, you know, the good come with the bad. Like you got to be able to take all the punches in this shit. I didn't like it because I just didn't feel like number one, I was the first performer. So people still walking in, people wasn't really like loose yet. They were still trying to figure out like what to do. I didn't really like the room we was in. So it was a lot of shit like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, I look at myself as a professional. So even though in my head I'm like, this not going the way I planned for it to do, but I started it, so you know I had to finish. You know, I had to finish the shit out. You know, I'm never the type of person that's like, it's not going how I wanted to, so I'm gonna give minimum energy. You know what I'm saying? So they wasn't giving me the reaction I wanted. I'm like, put your hands up, and niggas just staring at me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I'm still performing here like it's a crowd of 100, even though it's 15 people in here right now. You know, so I'm still happy with the energy I gave. You know? Yeah.
The biggest thing, you always gotta like put your best foot forward.
Exactly.
Somebody special could have been in that crowd.
Exactly. You never know
Who's there? You know what I mean? So it's like, often see like at our shows, like some of our first artists, because like that's a big thing. Like people don't show up until like the middle of the show.
Exactly.
Just because like that's how people are. But I'll see sometimes like our starting artists, they won't give any effort.
Yeah.
Because nobody's in there.
Yeah.
But like, how are you gonna get better? You know what I mean? And it's like, how are you gonna have somebody want to put you in the middle if you're not gonna show out?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I never want nobody to be able to say, oh, I saw him perform before, he was ass. Like, he was boring. Like so if it's one person in front of me, I'm gonna perform like it's a room full of people. And some people might look at it like, yo, he looks like a fool. Like, why he going so hard? There's nobody else in here. But like, if you a performer, if you really love the art, like, do it, give it the respect that it deserves at any capacity. You know, that's how I look at it. Yeah.
So like, when you're on stage, are you primarily by yourself? You got a little team with you? Like,
Usually by my dolo, to be honest. So those are the only 2 shows I've ever had.
really?
Yeah. For both those shows, they was like, you could bring a DJ if you like. You know, I didn't have any of that shit. So I'm of the mindset, and wherever, you know, I'm not where I want to be yet financially. So I'm like, whatever I could do myself and cut costs, I'm gonna do. So I already made my whole set. Like, it was one long ass, like 15-minute wave file. I already made the set, cut the songs where I wanted them to cut, started the songs where I wanted to cut, did the drops where I wanted them, and like just practiced that shit until it was time. So I ain't really need a DJ because I was kind of like my own DJ at that point, you feel me? So, yeah.
And it helps like you're versatile, you know? You make
Definitely.
Your own music, so what is it to just put some cuts in your tracks?
Exactly.
You know how you want it anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
it's easier just to do it yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
I respect that because a lot of people be like, I can't do this. I don't got the money for it.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, you don't got the drive and the hustle. You know what
Exactly.
I mean?
Exactly.
It's like you just gotta put that extra little effort in to get anything at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know?
You just got whatever you have. That's probably all you need to get it done. You know, even some people will be like, well, it doesn't compare to this person when they did it, but it's like, exactly.
You're in your own story. You're on your own.
Mm-hmm.
That's specific to you. You know.
Exactly.
You can't be comparing yourself to people because like that's gonna be your biggest downfall.
All the time.
You know. So what are some challenges you're facing right now?
Shit, challenges, marketing, marketing.
It's the hardest thing being an artist.
It is. You know, I tell people all the time, if you want to do this, it's not just going in the studio and making the best song. That's literally 25% of the job, you know? And to me, that's the easiest part. And I wish that it was just focused on the music, because if that was the case, I feel like I would surpass almost everybody. But you know, you gotta market yourself. You have to be relatable, like you was talking about, and you just gotta put yourself out there. You gotta have personality. You gotta look inviting to somebody. Like what would make me want to listen to your song when it's a million other rappers out here that's rapping on beats, you know? And once somebody figures that out, it's, well, is your song even good enough for me to listen to versus the million other people, you know? So just marketing, just finding my right crowd, and also just the funding, getting in front of that crowd, you know? Like I said, shout out to my bro Markel that I met in Cali. When he marketed my single, Run It. Run It has been my most successful single. Luckily, I was able to get I landed on 2 or 3 playlists that really shot the streams up a little bit. Even to this day, when I get the weekly report from Spotify and Apple, it still streams better than every other song. That'll probably continue, but that's because I've literally put more money behind that song than any other song I released, so it's not a mistake, you know?
It's all about that, bro.
Exactly.
You posted it. It was pretty funny. Where you were like, I got industry level people listening to this song.
Facts.
They saying it's fire, but I'm not posting anything on social media. You know?
Facts.
People don't know who I am.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. I get it all the time. It's like, yeah, the music's good. I really like this song. You know, oh, this is great. Yada yada yada. And then it's like, but, oh, you don't got enough followers. Oh, you don't post enough. Oh, you only post once every X amount of weeks. And, you know, so I understand that, you know, I heard Vince Staples say one time, he was like, they call it the rap game because at the end of the day, this shit is a game, you know? So I understand, but, you know, I'm still getting adjusted to it and just trying to put myself out there and make it more than just about the music. I feel like I'm getting better slowly, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna get it down pat, yeah.
Like as you said, it's a rap game. You gotta be a rapper, content creator.
Facts.
Especially on the underground stage. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Definitely.
Because once you're past the underground stage, you got people doing this shit for you.
Exactly.
But it's hard to do it all by yourself. It becomes a job, and then we have other jobs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is a second job.
Exactly.
With more hours than our actual job. You know, it's hard being. It's hard.
Yeah,
You know?
it's not easy. I tell everybody that, you know, people, you know, because it's so accessible now that anybody could literally do it. Anybody could get in the studio. A studio is not hard to find. You get a tight beat on YouTube and now you're a rapper. But people will drop one song and be like, yo, why I didn't make Rap Caviar? What the fuck? And it's like, yo, it don't work like that. You have to build a foundation. You got to take the proper steps to be able to get that level of success that you're looking for, you know?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
With the hip hop landscape evolving, and the genre changing, as you mentioned, a lot of people are getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
How is your artistry evolving? How is your integrity evolving? You know, how are you not getting caught up in the wish wash, not doing things just for the likes?
I just feel like when you do it for the wrong reasons, people can see through it, you know? So if it's not genuine, if it's not authentic, people are not gonna gravitate towards it. I feel like people like my music because it comes from a pure place. You know, I'm not just gonna start rapping on beats that don't fit me because it's gonna sound like I'm trying. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna sound formulated and like I was trying my hardest to do this. Whereas the music I make now, like I could do it in my sleep at this point. It's second nature to me.
It's just your raw form of expression, you know?
Yeah.
That's what artistry should be.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be me trying to say something I've never done or me capping, you know?
Exactly.
Just talk about what's real to me.
Exactly. Like if I was to drop a song next week and then I was doing like my best young boy impression, like people that are fans of me would be like, what the fuck is this? You know, like exactly. So I would never try to stare and do something that isn't me. Now that doesn't mean that I wouldn't experiment, but I feel like I would just have to combine both worlds, like still do what I do and then maybe, mix that with another style, but I would never completely jump ship from what's been working for me so far.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
It's like, you gotta experiment. That's how you just become a better artist.
Of course,
I mean?
yeah.
Like, you can't just, like, stay to you. You gotta push the envelope.
Yeah.
Because it's something in between, you know. When you're doing different things that you've never done, I see this because I make videos and everything. Like, when I start using different techniques or new things that I'm learning, it's like, it pushes you.
Exactly.
Being an artist. So, what's one of your favorite tracks that you've had?
Damn, that's a tough question. It's like choosing a favorite child. One of my favorite songs, probably Run It or No Rest for the Weary. Run It just because I feel like, Run It, I probably feel like I have some of my best delivery on that song. Also, Run It, I didn't produce that song, so I kind of got more time to focus on what I was saying just because the beat was already taken care of. No Rest for the Weary because it was 2 verses on that song. I don't really like to rap 2 verses, to be honest with you. And I just feel like that was probably my best rapping ever. It was just effortless to me. And I was just saying like fire shit. Like when I was writing it, after every line, I was like, oh, nah, this is crazy. Like I gotta put this out ASAP, you feel me? So yeah, probably those 2.
How do you formulate your tracks? Because you say you don't like rapping 2 verses. So how do you usually formulate?
I usually do hook verse hook. If I can't think of a hook, let's say I'm writing a 16, I'll just force myself to write a 24, and either the beginning of the 24 or the end of the 24, I'll make the hook, so I'll just break it up like that. A lot of times, like, the shit just come natural, to be honest with you. Like, it's maybe in a verse, I'll have to think about, like, what should I say here? What should I say here? But for the most part, it just kind of, like, it clicks. It just happens like that, So I write a song, like a whole song for me. Like I said, I make a beat in like half an hour. Once I finish the hook and the verse, I'll probably say maybe like a little over an hour until like the song's done. Yeah.
You got any upcoming projects? Like, what's next for you, man?
I got a lot up and coming actually. I got this whiteboard in my room right now where I'm just like writing all the songs next to and shit. So I do have a EP that I'm working on right now. I'm definitely coming out next year. I don't know when yet. Might be top of the year, first quarter. I just keep changing like which songs I want on it. I don't want it to be too long, maybe like 4 or 6 songs. And every time I make a new song, I'm like, this has to go on there. But also, I have a collab project coming out next year too. I don't want to say with who yet, because I'm not sure if he's ready to announce that. But we got 4 songs like already ready to go, all produced by me, and they're like, they're heat. Every song is crazy. Yeah.
Any upcoming performances, concerts?
No performances upcoming right now, but that's definitely something I'm keeping an eye out on. Yeah.
Yep. So is it off the whole time? Man, fuck it.
You didn't turn it back on when you came in the room?
I don't know. It was on for the other shit.
Yeah,
Oh, the second one? Yeah, we'll see it.
Should come up still.
Yeah.
It's a small room.
Weird. I'm speaking, I feel like I'm speaking loud enough.
Yeah.
But anyways, where can we find you?
You can find me on the gram, 1114 period Deuce, 11 spelled out, 1114 period Deuce. Same thing on TikTok. Those really be the most two platforms I'm on. Yeah. Same thing on YouTube also, 1114 Deuce.
What about music? Spotify, Apple Music.
Shawn Deuce on Spotify, Shawn Deuce on Apple Music, Shawn Deuce everywhere. What else? I'm trying to really like get on my Twitter shit too, but it's like every time I log on there, I scroll for 2 seconds, I see some fucking porn. I'm like, yo, what? But yeah, that's where you can find me at. On my official website too, ShawnDeuce.com. That's probably where you should go to get everything direct, you know, just in case Zuckerberg or Elon Musk want to play games and shut shit down. You can still find my music on ShawnDeuce.com, definitely.
Word.
Facts.
I appreciate you for popping out. Thank you, man.
No
Appreciate
problem,
it, bro.
man. Appreciate you.
I know you fucking with niggas, but not how you fuck with me. So I think you in advance, could be anywhere in the world, but you sitting with me. So I think you in advance. Nah, I really think you in advance. Promise me that I'ma see you in the dark.